for another shot fired.
Copy, additional shot fired.
Shots fired, shots fired. He's shooting at us.
Suspect shooting at officer.
Suspect down. He's at the base of the stairs. White t-shirt, white male.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Shots Fired Podcast Body Cam Breakdown. I'm your host, Mark Rutledge.
And I'm Kyle Schoberg.
In today's Body Cam Breakdown, we're going to watch a body cam video of an officer contact a suspect of a stolen car. That suspect grabs the officer's firearm, ultimately kidnaps the officer in his own patrol car. Additional officers arrive on scene and mag dump that car with the officer and the suspect in the driver's seat.
We're going to phone in Jay Wadsworth with Effective Fitness Combatives, who's an expert in law enforcement and jiu-jitsu, to provide pro tips if you guys come in contact with somebody who attempts to grab your firearm, what you can do to get out of it.
40 Bravo, you can go in service.
Nope. Yeah, what do you got?
What's on, Bravo? 40 Bravo, I'm directing you for 31 Bravo.
Hey, sir.
Can I do something?
Driving to U-Haul?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you talk to me real quick over here? Of course. All right, we're going to go over here for a minute.
What did I do?
What?
I said, what did I do?
All right. It's right here. All right? Right now you're being detained, okay? So this report's stolen.
Why? Since
You're
when?
not in a restaurant, you're just being detained, okay?
What's reported stolen?
All right. 221 Bravo, hold the channel, send me a unit to Sicko up here by North Walmart.
What the?
Sir, you're good. Get off my gun. Signal one, signal one, signal one, go off my gun!
What's reported stolen?
Sir, get off my gun.
321 Bravo, you have.
Signal one! Signal one, just throw it off! Signal one! Sir, you're not going to jail right now, right? Get off my gun.
I'm not going to. All units, we're going to call this signal 1, no response, 221 Bravo.
Look.
Get off my gun! Get off my gun! Let's go for my gun! Let's go for my gun!
Please just get back.
Get off my gun!
In the car! In the car! What car? The SUV! In the SUV! Get down on the ground! Get down on the fucking ground! He's on top of me! Watch crossfire! Watch crossfire! You good, Ryan? Come here, brother. Here, brother. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, where you shot? Where you shot?
Okay, so if we go back and we watch the video, let's talk about the initial contact. The officers drive by, his license plate reader catches the stolen U-Haul parked in the gas station. What I think the officer should have done was, he knows that that license plate or truck is stolen. We would suggest go park in a position where you can get a good long eye on that stolen car, radio it in, and get whatever resources and assets you have available to you in your department to get started that way. So if you go park, get eyes on it, start putting out as much information as you possibly can on what are you seeing, and should you see a driver or somebody inside that vehicle, wait for your resources to get there to actually make contact. This officer decided to contact the subject by himself, which ultimately started this confrontation. We suggest hold off, go park at a distance, wait for your resources to get there, and start providing your partners as much information as you can on what are you seeing, who's around the vehicle, where it's parked, the position that it's parked in, what way is it facing, and start getting all those things set up so that if it goes mobile, you can deal with it. Or if you guys decide to choose to do a takedown in that parking lot, you have your assets and resources available to you and go from there.
Now, we know there's times when you're going to be contacting suspects by yourself, but in this case, the officer chose to contact the suspect by himself. So you can notice in the video how he positions his car in the middle of the road. He's not using it as cover, and he's getting out and nonchalantly walking up to the suspect. I'd like to see him park his car in a different position where he can use the car as cover should he need that. And then his command presence when he's walking up to a suspect. We know that they're looking at you and they're sizing you up. The way your uniform's tailored, tucked in, your command presence alone may prevent incidents. And in this case, he didn't really do that. He just nonchalantly walked up. Then he leads him back, telling him why he's being contacted and why he's being detained, and then holds onto his arm with his left hand, leaving his gun sight exposed, and then radios for additional units. At this point, you're already committed to touching someone. And at that point, your goal and pure focus should be to detain that person. You've made that decision to detain them. Now you're going to do that. You need to fully do that. After that person's safely detained, then radio for additional units, or radio for additional units before you even make contact.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what led to that was just his lack of command presence, his lack of confidence, clearly. And, you know, maybe his inabilities to go hands-on, and maybe that officer is not comfortable with going hands-on with people and being involved in some type of confrontation. So let's get Jay Wadsworth on the phone. He's going to walk us through what happens next. And I want Jay to provide some additional tips so that if you are in that position, you can get yourself out of it, because that's a scary position to be in. And then to be pulled into the patrol car by the suspect, that's got to be a terrifying position as for that officer to be in.
Yeah. All right, let's call Jay.
All right, everybody, we've got Jay on the phone. Jay, go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what's your background, and thank you for taking some time tonight to do this with us.
Okay. Hey, guys. My name's Jay Wadsworth. I'm co-owner of Effective Fitness Combatives. I'm a 22-year police veteran that retired in April. I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. I have MMA fights, and I've been developing DT curriculum since around 2009 and really taking that deep dive into the defensive tactics in combatives world, as far as like how we take those fundamentals of jiu-jitsu and wrestling and put them into the environment of police and use of force, and then the integration of weapons.
All right, Jay, we know you've seen this video. Can you talk to us about what this officer did wrong and what they could do better at the point when he actually makes physical contact with the suspect?
Yeah, so, you know, I've seen the video, and I obviously break down all the videos that, you know, kind of come up on social media or body cams, and always trying to find a way to put out better material for officers and make them safer. So in this one, we already have everything already installed. It's already something that we train with. It's basically that classic 1 of 3 grabs on the gun from the front. And so right from the beginning, the cop comes out and grabs the hold with his support hand and then pulls his cuffs out. So one of the big no-nos in our curriculum is that you don't bring your cuffs out until you get control of both hands. So right off the bat, he's standing directly in front of the guy. He doesn't work to achieve an angle, and then he just grabs a hold of the guy straight on. So they're more of like in a competing stance. And then he gets his cuffs out with his dominant hand. And at that point, he feels like he's getting a little bit of resistance, an active resistance level. And the biggest problem here, right from the beginning, is he looks to his left to work the mic, and he creates opportunity and vulnerability for the suspect to grab his weapon.
Yeah.
Because the suspects are always looking for opportunity and vulnerability. And when the cop has his cuff out, control, and he doesn't control the other hand, and he looks away, he takes his eyes off the threat, he gives him that opportunity. So the suspect then latches on with both hands to the gun. So that's one of the 3 classic gun grabs that you see. It's a 2-hand grab, which actually is one of the easier gun grabs to clear. So when we talk about weapon retention, guys, we use a concept we call HRAT, and the H and the R stand for human retention. You're going to have to put human retention on it right away. Simultaneous to that, some skills from our skill development module is we work stance and level change. So that all fails in this situation. We don't see a good stance, we don't see a level change, and we don't see very good inside head placement. The officer does put human retention on the gun, which means the suspect has a hold of the gun. He takes a human hand, his own human hand, and starts to put his retention on the gun. Mm-hmm. So he does retain the gun, which when we do weapon retention, we talk about there's objectives to weapon retention. The first one is we need to retain that gun once they get on it. So he does complete weapon retention objective number 1. Number 2 is we need to take that suspect's hands off the gun. Now in the classic cross grab 2-on-1, the nice thing about that is the suspect actually gives us an angle. If we move to what we call like our 2-on-1 or hug armbar style takedown or weapon retention, it automatically creates us an angle. The suspect can't stop that angle, and when we put our inside head position in it. The bundle, we take our now inside arm that would be closest to the suspect, not putting retention down, and we'll come underneath both of his arms and grab the far side tricep. From there, we're going to pull that arm like we're doing a back row and drive with our inside head placement and then shake those hands off. When we pull that arm from underneath, it actually crosses the suspect's arms, makes his grip really weak, and then we can free the arm. We just actually trained that today at the Evansville course that I'm at. And I can send you guys a couple of videos that you could put into the podcast with that, showing how we do that.
Okay.
So again, we call that the bundle. Okay. So first mistake is we get our cuffs out without control and without an angle. And then we look away, we give him opportunity and vulnerability. And then as soon as he latches on our gun, we fail to get a good stance and good level change inside head placement. He does put the human retention on there, but without those other ones, the suspect's allowed to close the distance and then make it very difficult for him to get the guy's hand off the gun. So weapon retention fails when we can't get the hand off the gun. So then we talk about what is objective 3. We've retained the gun. Objective 1 is met, but we can't get the suspect's hand off the gun, which is our ideal win. And objective number 2 is take his hand off the gun. When that fails, we utilize what we call an edge weapon attack. So if he would have gone to the bundle, he probably clears that. If he can't clear it and you can't meet objective 2 of getting the hand off that gun, we talk about carrying an edged weapon somewhere on our center line, front or back, that you could present with your support side hand, which would then be a lethal force way to fix that and meet objective 3, because we couldn't get objective 2 fails.
Right. And when you watch that video, the suspect is clearly much bigger than the officer. So are you saying that what you guys are teaching in your curriculum, this is going to work on all size type of individuals? Or, you know, at what point is that threshold where the suspect is so much bigger than the officer, that technique may or may not work?
So we talk about size and strength. Obviously makes a difference when the skill set is in the same ballpark. So if you have a high level of skill and the suspect's bigger than you but has a low set of skill, that minimizes the size and strength. So in this case, neither the officer or the suspect are very skilled. And the suspect's a little bit bigger than the officer, but he's not ripped. He's not super muscular.
Right.
It all comes down to having good stance, level change, and position to then be able to minimize the size and strength difference, which is where we see the failure in this incident, unfortunately. But, you know, we're huge proponents of skill development modules and building those simple skills like stances, level changes, inside head positions, 2-on-1s, inside control, grip breaks, because all of those skills, now we have to add the tactic in when someone grabs our gun. And we drill those skills right in the beginning of our courses. So then as we go through the courses, they already understand what skills they need to put the tactics into work when we get to those modules. For instance, weapon retention on this one. You know, and this classic 2-hand grab is actually probably the easiest of the 3 grabs that we see from the front to clear.
Yeah. And that's a scary position to be in as a cop. I mean, anytime someone goes for your gun, it's not often that happens, but you don't want to try to figure out how to get out of that position, you know, the first time that it happens to you out on the street, which is, you know, clearly what happened to this guy. So then fast forwarding, the guy sucks the officer into the car, which is, you know, even more problematic at this point. The officer's basically pleading for him to let go of the gun. And he tells him like, hey man, you're not under arrest. Like, I think the officer just wanted to separate himself from the bad guy and just get out of there. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. He gets pulled into the car. Somehow he manages to get the car in reverse. And I want to say he used his hand, if we go back and watch the video, to basically punch the gas. And then now the car is in reverse and they crash into a McDonald's. Mark and I were talking after that occurs, backup now arrives. And the even more scary part of this whole story is the cover officers show up and mag dump into that car with their partner still in the car. So, I mean, I don't know. Luckily, the officer didn't get shot. To my knowledge, I don't believe he took a round, and ultimately the suspect was shot and killed. But as a responding officer showing up to something like that, having the awareness to assess what's going on and make the appropriate decision on how to act. He just that guy showed up and mag dumped into that car.
And even before they get into the car, so the weapon retention's happening in the open parking lot and there's no barrier. So we train off barriers because we train off walls because everywhere we're at has a barrier, right? So parking lot, he ends up getting pushed up against the car.
Right.
So now that car is like fighting off a wall or fighting off the cage in an MMA match. And that changes how we have takedown defense. It changes a little bit of our weapon retention. So now we're in a position where we're up against a barrier, which is actually his own vehicle. And the suspect actually takes one of the hands off of the gun to open the door.
Right.
So like, again, here comes another opportunity for us to change positions and free a gun grab from a one-hand gun grab, which is now the suspect's dominant hand and gives us an angle still to achieve. So again, officer just got stuck staying in front, not working to achieve an angle, which is one of our main principles for the entire system. But especially like when we're fighting for weapons, we have to be able to achieve an angle to be able to free that gun. Right. And, once they get into that car and it crashes, I don't care if you believe in God, if you believe in something else, something was overlooking that officer on that day.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Because if you saw when the guy punched the car, the officer's feet were still just off the road.
Yeah.
And then the mag dump comes in there and the officer didn't end up getting shot and the gun never ended up coming out of his own holster. So, that I do know. I know the gun his own gun was not taken out of his holster.
Right.
So he met objective one of retaining his weapon the whole time. So, even though we saw a lot of failures in there and we obviously are Monday morning quarterbacking this, he did meet that objective one and fought all the way through of not letting that gun come out. Unfortunately, he was in a bad position throughout the whole event and then even got mag dumped on and thank God he didn't get hit by that either, both for the officer in the car and for his partner. Because how would you feel if you ended up mag dumping in and then realizing your partner's in the car? I don't think he realized his partner was in the car. I'm not sure if he did or not, but I do know he was not shot and he only took some glass fragments and stuff. That was what was causing his bleeding. And, I think the guys that showed up after that, someone was holding on a suspect and then they went with the priority of life of, hey, our officer is probably shot too. There's blood. And then they stripped him of his clothes and started really, trying to look through his whole body to see where the blood was coming from. So I thought they did a pretty good job on the medical side of that of immediately realizing, hey, this is our number one priority at the time,
Yeah.
And, that part was hey, we'll take the good things out of Monday morning quarterback as well as all the bad stuff that we saw that didn't go great. And as training providers, we always do that so that we can push out better information to people.
Yeah, and that's all this is, right? We do watch these body cam videos and Monday morning quarterback these things, which is very easy to do. There are things to learn from these, and that's the whole purpose of doing these. not to bash on the officers. Look, mistakes were made, and there are better ways to go about handling situations like that. And that's why we're doing this, is to bring that to light, so that, potentially an officer that watches this gets put in that position, maybe handles it a little bit differently. So that's all this is. So Mark, you had a question?
So Jay, can you weigh in on the training that you provide, not only the physical aspects of situations like this, but your maybe passiveness or your voice? Can you talk a little bit about that, what you saw in this and what you provide?
Yeah, so we talk about taking control of that scene and or having confidence when we're in there. So we talk about verbal commands have to be trained. If you're in an oh shit situation where, hey, this guy launched on my gun, and that fear response comes in, you see where people start to hold their breath and they don't start giving verbal direction to what's going on. So in this case, it's that cross grab. We have the benefit of having the gas station camera there.
Right.
But if we didn't have that gas station camera and it was just the subject's body camera, which was on his chest, you don't pick up the suspect's gun grab because the body cam is chest to chest.
Yeah, you can't.
So now if he does clear the gun and then he gets his gun out and the guy comes back at his gun and he shoots him, it's going to be very, very difficult to see what happens because there's no narration of the story.
Right.
So verbal commands are so important to narrate the story. One, it gives the difference in his level of his voice. So gun grab, get off my gun. And you need to be talking to that subject the entire time and being loud, not where you can't understand it, but you need to be loud and let this guy know, along with you're narrating the story to your body cam. You're narrating the story to maybe anybody else that's in the area to, one, take cover, or two, if it's your partner's running up, that the guy's actually still on your gun. So one of the things we talk about in our whole weapon retention modules, even our custody modules, is you are training verbal commands through the entire thing, because if you don't train them, they are going to fail when it happens.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know. Thanks.
That's interesting. Yeah. And it makes total sense. I mean, all of that stuff is super vital and crucial. So, hey, Jay, thanks for jumping on, man. I think we want to do more of these. We'll do some more body cam breakdowns. We'll have you call in and weigh your opinion on a lot of this. I know you're very good at what you do. Can you plug Effective Fitness Combatives? Get officers to sign up for these classes. You guys are all over the country. Where can they find you? Your Instagram, your guys' website, and how can they get signed up?
Yeah, so our IG handle is just EFCombatives, and then our website is EFCombatives.com. We have courses all over the country. We're currently booking into 2024, so if you're looking to host a course, you can email me, j@EFCombatives.com. And then if you want to come to a course, just check out the website or our Instagram handle, and you'll be able to see all the courses we have up. Most of them are open. If it says closed, that's just a private course. It's closed to them, but I think we only have a few of those on the schedule right now. The rest of them are the hosts have opened it up to other agencies, other security professionals and military, and then approved civilians that help instruct cops like BJJ professionals or gym owners. And, I think we have an entire combatives curriculum. It's not just a control and custody curriculum. It's not just a DT curriculum. It's complete custody and control with use of force, documentation, and an app to back all of it with a learning management system. So, yeah, it's taken off. We're super busy. We're traveling all the time. We're going to be in Napa next week, the 26th week of June, I think it's the 26th. And then we're back in Ontario in the end of July. So we will be in California out by you guys at some point.
Yep.
And, maybe we'll catch up for dinner or drinks. And anyone wants to come to class, come train.
Yeah, we'll see you in Nashville at the TAC Ops conference. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. And then we're also at all the TAC Ops conferences. Yep. We were just in NYQA, the North one, and we'll be at South and East, which is Nashville and DC. Larry puts on an amazing conference. It's hands-on stuff. It's, classroom stuff. A lot of really good courses there. They have a great vendor show. So again, TAC Ops is also a benefit to go to for officers.
Absolutely. And it's always fun hanging out with you guys. You guys tend to be the light of the show. Yeah, you and Travis. Guys, guys.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where, like, we're networking and we're communicating with people and cops and people in our profession. And we're no different than anybody else. We just have put a lot of work into grinding and trying to make our profession better. We all have extensive police, law enforcement backgrounds and training backgrounds on the mixed martial arts side of things. And the way we look at things is how do we integrate it to the use of force? And it's awesome. You guys are doing a phenomenal job with the Shots Fired podcast, getting information out there, getting good people on the show. You guys are at the conference doing some pretty awesome podcasts with other guys in other fields as well. And I think that's good for the community of law enforcement because it starts to get the material out there that they need.
Yeah, that's the whole goal, right? Is, Mark and I try to pump this information out there. We try to provide a platform for guys like you and people like us that want to help the industry get better, and put that information out there. So, dude, you guys are crushing it on your end. You guys are doing a hell of a job. You guys are awesome. Make sure you guys go check out EFCombatives and go to their Instagram. We'll put all the descriptions and links and stuff we'll put all the links in our description so you guys can check it out there. So, hey, thanks again, man, for jumping on, thanks, Jay. And we'll catch up and hang out in Nashville.
Okay. Thanks, Kyle and Mark. We appreciate you. The show's awesome. Look forward to doing some more stuff with you guys.
Absolutely, dude. All right, man. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was great conversation. It's nice to have Jay on the phone, to have that communication and the networking with him because he provides a lot of information from EFC. So it's really good to have him on the show.
Yeah. And, guys, this isn't, we're not here to poke fun at anybody. There is a huge learning component to this. And this is all just about making people better and more safe. Look, the reality is this is a dangerous job. You are going to be put in dangerous situations. We're just here to try to help everybody be a little bit more safe. Jay offers that with Effective Fitness Combatives. We really do encourage you guys to go on their website, get signed up. If you guys are on social media, go check them out on Instagram. They're constantly putting out these videos, instructional videos for free on social media so that you guys can all watch it and learn a little bit. And if you want to go to their full day courses, I would highly encourage that and get that one-on-one interaction and repetition. If you guys aren't following Police Posts, which is a huge Instagram site, social media, then I highly suggest doing that. The folks that run Police Posts are integrated with Effective Fitness Combatives and Effective Fitness Training. So they're building a huge network and program out there, guys. Utilize it. It's completely, a lot of this has free access to you guys. So with that said, we'll wrap this one up. We want to start doing more of these body cam breakdowns, having experts call in and weigh in their opinion on this stuff. So I feel like we'll probably, do more of these. If you guys want them, make sure you drop a comment, let us know. And if you guys get videos or if you see videos, shoot them our way on our Instagram or email, and we'll review them. And if we want to break them down, we'll do that.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, until next time.
All right, guys, be safe, be smart, and we'll catch you on the next one.